Welcome to Melanated Mondays. I'm your host, Aj.
And I'm Tay, and we're here to review our favorite books written for us by us.
Period.
So today we will be reviewing Prada Plan 1 by Ashley Antoinette. And girl,
Girl, oh my. This book really, like, when I say my jaw just completely open, like, what the hell is going on in this damn book?
no, really, because it starts off just insane. So
Like,
review
at
the first.
first, it's really just going on about, like, Yaya's, beginning upbringing, how her mom was, a high class hoe. She was high
Pretty
class
much,
though. And
you
then her
know.
dad was a pimp, and then they end up dying. And then she has to go live with this woman who is like a foster parent. But in that house, she meets her best friend, and they both end up getting raped by the foster mom's son. And so that's kind of like the start to her story. And
Girl,
that was just such a sad beginning. Like,
the like the first and foremost, like with her mom got shot and completely just done for. And then the dad, it wasn't her dad, but he was taking care of her
yeah,
as if it was his child. Like he basically was like, that's my baby regardless. And so he ended up going to jail because of the murder that happened to his mom, but it wasn't him who did it,
hmm
which was
that,
crazy.
that was just like such a. And then it goes. Obviously, she grows up, and it's like years later, and she is starting off her own life, and now she trying to be a high class hoe like her mom. At
Right.
first, she wasn't though. At first, she wasn't, and
No,
then she got convinced because she needed to make more money. She wasn't making enough money. Her and her best friend,
yeah, because her and her
and
best
so
friend are the ones that ran away from the
yeah,
the house. They were both being abused. So like when they grew up, they kind of stayed together. And
I
then
love that they stayed together. Like
yeah,
I love that they were so true to each other. Like their friendship was just so they was ride or die.
I love how they became friends because she was like, "You know how to cuss, girl?
Hmm.
I ain't never said no cuss words before. Teach me." Like that was super cute because I'm like, as a kid, I definitely made friendships with people who was like, "You know how to cuss?"
Because that's really some kid shit right there.
Very much so.
And then okay, so she goes on, and she starts
Prada
her
plan.
little her little Prada plan, which is her plan so that she can get some money and be
Yeah, because
able
her mama
to.
told her, don't be, relying on anybody. You got to make your own money. If you want couture stuff and you want to live fabulously, like you really got to go out there and work for it and don't let nobody stop you. And that's your Prada plan.
And so that's what she was doing until then it's like shit just hits the fan. Just fucking hits the fan.
It never really stopped, honestly. I mean, her
It
parents
really,
died. She was getting molested. She ran away. She,
but then
was
it just
hungry. And
hit
then,
the fan, hit the fan, hit the fan, hit the fan, hit the fan. And
because,
so, okay, so she's like, okay, first things first, I need a car. And she realizes, like, okay, I'm gonna put this little coochie to work so I can get me a car.
and
And so she
did,
goes and did. So she goes to the car dealership and asks. She doesn't even ask. She just goes to the boss and pretty much he eats her out and she get her a little car or whatever. And so from there, she's like, okay, cool. Like I can use my assets to get what I want. Which that part I was like, okay, girl, get you that little car.
I was like, I need me a car.
Get you a car. And then from there, she meets her love interest, Indy, and I like love them together.
Well,
I
because
was really.
she went to that like high class like escort service, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then through that is that's where she met Indy was through the escort service, or she met him at a club or
She
something.
met him at a club.
Okay, he always meeting people at the club.
And then he was very much like, I loved him because he was very much like, trying to tell her like she needs to love herself. And before she wasn't really looking at herself in that light. But once she met him, like she was kind of like, okay, like maybe I'm wilding just a little bit. Just
I
a little
mean,
bit.
I have a love hate relationship for Indy because I feel like he thinks he's a good guy and he's trying to be a good guy, but he had made a comment about like grooming her, and I was like, "Hold on, sir. Why do you need to groom her?"
You're right. That's not. Yeah. I mean, in the beginning vibes,
Overall,
I was like, okay, like I like them together. But then obviously, as the story unfolds, I was like, nah. I'm like, this ain't ethic. He ain't ethic.
I mean, during her time in the escort service with Leia,
Okay, and then so she meets this girl Leia who is literally a fucking lunatic, like off her fucking rocker. That
Leia's
girl is
crazy.
crazy and becomes obsessed with Yaya. And like so obsessed that she tries to look like her, gets the same tattoo as her, and that shit was really wild. I was like, what the fuck is this girl's weird. Weird as
Like I
hell.
understand being besties with someone and like, if you have lipstick on, I'm gonna put lipstick on because we going out together or whatever. But I cannot stand someone who wants to be exactly like me. Like exactly
That's
like that shit's
weird.
creepy. Like to do some things that are similar to your best friend or whatever, cool. But once you get to the point where it's like you're getting the same tattoo as me, you're dyeing your hair the same color as me, you wearing contacts, you doing everything to look like me, girl, what's the point? What's the reason?
For real, because that was just too much for me. And so, boom, Layla's like, okay, like we need to be together. Like she turns from just trying to be her friend to trying to be her woman, and Yaya is definitely not with that at all.
No,
And
she's like,
so,
I'm not gay. Like, we just do this stuff for, work.
yeah,
Like, we
for
work and
work.
we escorts, we do what we do and make our money and we go our separate ways. Like, I am not your girl.
And so it gets a little intense, and it's finally like time where Indy wants to invite her to see his family and meet his mom and his dad. And so she goes to meet the family, and why is the dad the nigga from the car dealership that
Baby,
that literally went down on her and got her that car? When I say I was speechless, I was like, "Oh my god, not that being the man!" Like
I
I
just, girl, my jaw dropped. Mind
I
you, I'm on a
couldn't be
plane
with
when I was
him.
reading it. I'm
I,
like, when
I
I,
couldn't be with him. I couldn't because
no,
every family function I have to come over here and see your dad,
they
knowing.
They
Mm-mm.
handled it well. I won't lie. They did handle it well because they were like, they never spoke on it.
No, yeah, the dad
And
was like, the dad liked her for his son, so he was just like, we just going never, we just this never happened. We just never gonna speak about this.
I don't know how you got that car, but it's a nice
Yeah,
one. Okay.
and then the mom absolutely loved her, and then so one night, Yaya and Leia go to have a threesome with like a high price client. And at this time, he's trying to record them. Yaya's not with it, so she leaves. She doesn't want to be in the camera. And instead, Leia starts to have sex with the man, but she ends up shooting him. She pulls a gun from under the pillow and shoots him. But in the tape, you can't really see who it was. You can only see like their similar tattoo that they had. And so then she's meeting his family, guys meeting his family, and then someone comes to the door and it's news that his brother has died. So from right there, I already knew it was about to be some shit. I already knew.
Right. And then it's like, I swear to God, it just gets worse. Like, it does
From
not
there,
improve.
it just took off. It just took off. So pretty much a short overview is Indy thinks Yaya is the one that killed his brother. The man who died was the one that was trying to have a threesome with him. He thinks that Yaya did it because on the camera you see the tattoo that she has. And so pretty much he beats the hell out of her. And she almost has a miscarriage. And then Leia comes and beats the hell out of her because she's like, bitch, you thought you was better than me. You didn't want to be with me, blah, 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 blah. So pretty much the bitch gets beat up twice.
She gets beat to shit, like to
Like
literal
bad,
shit.
almost loses her baby. Like, oh my God. I was stressed. I was,
Girl,
I was very stressed. Like when Leia sent that recording of what happened to his brother to him, like I already knew. I was like, oh God, he's gonna see this tattoo and he's gonna flip. And Leia is a real fucking psychopath. Like real fucking psychopath. And I just felt so bad for Yaya because she was just trying to explain herself and he didn't want to hear none of that.
man. And honestly, I really just don't even understand why it went so far with Leia. Like I I will say I've been reading, so I'm starting to understand. But fuck that bitch. Like she still ain't got no damn reason to like fuck with Yaya as much as she's doing. Like she is going to the absolute extreme. And then Yaya is not only dealing with this, she also has her best friend who's going through her own shit.
Mm-hmm. Which is very sad because they besties. They've been besties forever. And her best friend has kind of lost her way, been dabbling into some drugs. And, when Yaya decided she didn't want to be an escort anymore, unfortunately, her best friend did not decide that. So she has her own rough path that she's going through with people trying to kill her.
Man,
I was just so stressed out. This book was stressing me out.
the anxiety reading this book, it was a good anxiety and
Yeah,
it was
like
like a really fast and easy read. But
you just want to
girl,
know what happens. Like you're just like, okay, like I just need to know what happens. But boom, pretty much fast forward. Leia has her, or not Leia, Yaya has her baby, and Indy doesn't know that he has a baby in this world because in his mind he thinks the baby damn died when he beat the shit
because
out of her. Which I'm like, you terrible man,
he's
terrible man.
horrible because he beat her ass, was like, fuck her and that baby, and then
Yeah,
dipped on her
but
and
then
just
didn't
started
even
living
get
his
to
life and didn't check or nothing.
didn't even like yeah that's why I'm like, so you just gonna go move to Houston? They're in New York, but he moves to Houston. I'm like, you're just gonna leave? You ain't even gonna check to see if like the baby was dead or nothing? Like you just gonna be like, whatever, I beat her ass and that baby's ass, I'm moving to Houston? Like you're not even gonna
And you
see?
didn't even hear the full story. You
You
didn't even let
didn't.
the girl
I
speak.
think that's what like really blew me is, okay, he's seen the video, I get it, but instead of even letting her explain, like, that's not me, in his mind, oh, it is you. Like if he would have let her explain, he would have seen that the tattoo was on the wrong side,
Period.
and it wasn't her. But instead you just come in beating bitches ass and don't even be asking no questions. Like that's crazy to me. That is really crazy. And I just, from then, that's when I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking with him. I'm not fucking with him. Cause, cause how you gonna beat someone who's your child's mother like that? Like, no.
That part.
And then
And
the fact that he just moved away, I was like, you ain't shit. You ain't even go check on your baby or nothing. You just gonna up and leave. Just go start a new life.
he really isn't shit. Like at the end of the day, he's 1,000% not shit. And I'm as a person, as I mean, you have too, but reading Ethic and then hearing Yaya's story, and like I hated Yaya during the Ethic series, hated her. So to come back and like reread her story, I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of like her, but like I'm not prepared for her to meet up with Alani again because she need her ass beat.
For real. She do. I still stand on that. I'm always stand on that. I don't care. You had a hard life. Okay, girl, but you still need your ass beat. Like,
Like, come on now.
it just has to happen. I think and then see, this is my problem, is that I read the Ethic series obviously before this. And so, like, any male character, like, my standards are high.
Hi.
They
Oh my
high.
God.
They high. So, like,
Ethic is the best. Nobody compares to him. So like
right.
anything that you compare to Ethic, I swear to God, nobody compares. There's not one book boyfriend that I've ever read about in my whole book career that has been better than Ethic. Ashley
No.
wrote that man to be perfect.
Like, Carter from the cartel was close. He close.
He close.
He close, but and like, Ethic is like just the standard. Me personally, my man's meek, but Ethic is still like she wrote his character so well to where you're like, okay, this is the standard. So now when I read, I be like, this is the standard, and if you ain't meeting the standard, I don't know.
You a regular nigga. Okay.
For real regular, it's feeling, that's what it's given, real regular.
Real regular.
And so Indy in this book, real regular. So pretty much
He's mediocre as hell.
she comes back. So pretty much Yaya goes and is like, you know what? I'm just going to raise this baby by myself. And his mom reaches out to her and it's like, no, you're not going to do it alone. So she moves in with Indy's parents and they're helping her, which I thought was really sweet. I mean, I know it's because Indy's mom happens to be the one that killed her mom. And so she feels some type of remorse.
But
But
she ain't said nothing yet.
yeah,
She still
yeah.
ain't said
But I
shit.
feel like it was still really nice of her to be like, okay, this girl, she's been through a lot of shit. Like, her baby's in the hospital. She don't have nowhere to go. Like, I thought it was really nice
It was.
for her to open her home to her and, like, be like, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna help you. Even if my son is out being a fucking dumbass, like, we gonna help you.
Girl.
So how did you feel when Yaya, like, moved in with Indy? Cause I,
Hated it.
cause I was so like, don't do that. Like, don't,
Yeah,
like, where he was just like, all right, like, I want you to be mine, like, boom. And I get it, like, she wanted her little brownstone, and he bought it, but I'm like, girl, you don't even really know him. Like, you just met his family, and now you're just gonna move in with him. That part gave me the ick.
that was one thing about the book. Oh, I found it. Okay. That was one thing about the book that I didn't really enjoy was how fast the relationship moved.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was like a a trick in a hole.
Yeah,
Like he was
that gave me the ick.
playing the game.
Yeah, that gave me the ick.
And
I'm doing that.
not to just call Yaya a hoe, but I mean she's a paid hoe, so I'm not mad at it. Get your money, girl. It said, question number one, should Yaya have forgiven Elaine for killing her mother?
um, how
She doesn't even know, huh?
Yeah, she does. Like, she told her, but she said she forgave her because she felt like she had something to do with her son dying.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think that's like a tricky question because, you know, I don't know, your parent dying. Also, she was very young, so I don't
I
know.
would have forgiven
Yeah,
Elaine. Like personally,
I feel like she just really, like, Elaine feels terrible. Like, I feel like she really feels remorse for what she did. Like, it would be different if she didn't care, like, just whatever, but I feel like she really feels terrible for what she did. So I would say yeah.
yeah, she was like, I was young,
Yeah.
dumb, stupid, and made a mistake. And I agree. I definitely would have forgiven her. Um, was Yaya wrong for not telling Indy about Skylar?
No, because you just beat my ass and now you want me to
That part.
like, because in my opinion, if he really cared, he would have checked up to see what was going on. You didn't even check. You just beat me the hell up. I guess assumed the baby was dead and went on about your life. Like, you really didn't even check to see if you had a child living. So no, I don't think she was wrong at all. I wouldn't have told his ass either.
I agree because I mean, if you're gonna beat me near to death and know I'm pregnant and not check on at least the baby, then you have no right to even know about her because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't care. What could have happened to Leia to make her so cruel and disturbed? Is she crazy or is there deeper reasons behind her actions? Now, I've read forward, so I know the answer, but it still doesn't justify a goddamn thing.
Something, I don't know, maybe something happened to her. I don't know. So far, I'm just, in my mind, this bitch is just off her rocker. Like, she just crazy.
Next book, I believe, is Leia's story, so you will find out. How did you feel when Indy and Yaya saw each other for the first time? Did you feel like he still loved her all along, or was he wrong for beating her when she was pregnant? Hell yeah.
Like, he was wrong. He was wrong from the beginning. Like, you didn't even let her explain none of that. You just was like, like, to me, if you're accusing someone of murder, at least let them speak their piece and explain what happened. And he didn't do that. So, like, and it's like clearly in his mind, he's like, "Oh, I still love her," but I'm like, "You're not giving, sir. It's not giving love. It's not.
I'm sorry. The second you put your hands on her, the love goes away from me.
It's not giving love."
I don't think there's love any there. And then, oh my God, did Mona deserve to die at the hands of Bay? What a question.
No, I mean, I get it. Like, he was very triggered because if you give me HIV, like, I'm gonna be triggered. But I really just thought that the disease was gonna kill Mona. Like, I didn't think that Bay was gonna come back and kill her. I just thought like she was going to, just pass away.
Yeah, and I was hoping she just passed
And
away
she been
because,
through a
like,
lot in her life, so I was hoping like that she would just be able to just pass away. Okay, she been through a lot.
you know, in her own peace. But
Yeah,
Bay coming back, like he was on a vengeance, and I get it. Like you feel like you were done wrong, but one, she also didn't test herself. She didn't know, so she
yeah,
was, out here doing things, and like, shit happens. And so, unfortunately for the both of them, they both got HIV, and Bay. I believe Bay even killed himself. He was like, I'm not
yeah,
living with it. And I'm like,
yeah. He killed her and then killed himself.
but the fact that he did that was just like it enraged me because it's like you could have left Mona alive. She could have just lived with what she had and died.
Yeah, if you
You
was
didn't
gonna,
have, you could have killed
yeah,
yourself.
if you was gonna kill yourself, just kill yourself.
And then what did you think of Buchanan Slim? So Yaya's stepdad.
I thought he was weird
I
because
thought he was a
like
groomer.
I don't know. The part where it's like he's taking care of a kid that's not his, I'm like, that's very nice, very sweet. But for me, I just couldn't be with someone and still have them prostituting themselves. Whether they're making a bunch of money or not, like I just feel like if you're my woman, like you're my woman. So that part was just like, okay, she's like your woman, but you're still like her pimp. Like
That part, like
wasn't
you just
yeah. Nah.
what did you think will happen? What do you think will happen to baby Skylar? Will Leia hurt her? And I'm gonna let you answer that.
I think yes, because Leia is fucking nuts. And I don't know, at the end of the book it kind of ended. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna have enough time to get to the baby because they just found out she's missing. They're like all confused. What the fuck is going on? I don't know if they're gonna make it in time.
Man. And who was your favorite character and why?
Who was my favorite character? Oh, definitely not Leia's ass. I would.
Mine was Indy's mama.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go also with Indy's mom. I just think she was like in the beginning, obviously her character was a little flawed, but towards the end, it's like she's just such a genuine character. Like she really
Yeah,
is just very genuine, and like she cares for her son, but she also is like, okay, you kind of did this girl wrong, so like I'm gonna help her out, and that just she was very genuine. So I would have to say his mom.
I would say the same because she was, I mean, she did a turnaround throughout the book. She was
Yeah,
a piece of shit in the beginning, and then for her to come back and help the girl that she literally almost pretty much destroyed her life and put her on this path, like I think that was a good, a good redemption story for her.
Mm-hmm.
Was Indy wrong for sleeping with Leia, even though he didn't know who she really was or what she did? And was he wrong for moving on from Yaya?
I mean, clearly he proved that he was just going to move on regardless, but I just think they moved a little too fast because personally, like, you don't know this girl at all, and so you being cooped up with her and you don't even know her is crazy. And I don't know, Leia just gave me just the ick, like, and then I'm just wondering, I'm like, he has slept with her a couple times, how has he not seen that tattoo?
That's the thing I was always
like
wondering.
like
That's one of my like
that really,
points.
from like the moment she said she noticed Leia had the same tattoo, and then I'm like, okay, you sleeping with her, you fucking her all the time. How do you not be like, that's weird? You have the same tattoo that my ex has. Like, there's you haven't seen the tattoo at all. That's weird. I don't know. That part was like one of the parts where I was like, that don't make sense.
Uh, Girl, yeah, that was one of the reasons why I was like, okay, this is a four because that does not make sense to me at all. If she has that same tattoo, she it should have been like, oh, damn, I think Yaya's is on the right side or whatever side it was on. Like it would have clicked to him. But also, men don't pay attention to shit. So who knows?
For real.
So he could have just been like, oh, whatever, it's just another tattoo. But it's not realistic.
Yeah, that part. That was one of the parts that like tripped me up because I'm like, sir, like I was literally yelling at the book, like the bitch got the tattoo. Look at her back. She got the tattoo. Look at like.
Girl, that is all the questions that I have for you.
Okay. Well, thank you, friend. Thank you, friends, for joining us for this week. You can catch us next Monday where we'll be reviewing the Prada Plan 2. So can't wait
Right.
to see you then.
Yes, we'll see you then. Thank you for joining Melanated Mondays.